Hello and welcome everybody to the Creative Native. I'm Ryan Cardinal, the Ryan Cardinal, and unfortunately I was running a little bit late today. Main issue with that is my microphone, which you can see right here, apparently wasn't working. But thank you everybody for coming by and hanging out in the chat and doing your thing. Got lots of people hanging out there. Let's see, Darren Wagner's out there, awesome. And let's bring in our guest of the day. Let's pop it up here. Boom. Bionic Broad. Hello. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Can I hear? I think I can hear you. You can fix
you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah. I thought I'd go ahead and do this like this so my face isn't so up close and personal on the camera.
Oh, it's all good, man. You're a very handsome man, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you got your project COLBALT out. I unfortunately haven't been keeping tabs on this at all. So when you reached out to me, I was just like, oh, cool. Yeah, I got to check this out.
Yeah, I started promoting late. So the first time I actually showed like COLBALT's character concept was back on Rob the Replicator's Comicsgate Deathmatch thing that he did, where he got like all the characters together to like see who's got like the best like character concept and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even hear about that. That's awesome.
It was early on. It was probably around this time last year. But so I did that, and I got good reception from both Clay and Rob, and of course Dan Fraga. He was a guest on the show at that time. Okay, so cool. That's cemented me going forward with my character COLBALT.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I've been running around like crazy, and now with CG having so many things out, like I'm starting to miss stuff now. So with the yeah, I know, man. It's actually starting to get pretty wild out there with just like how many things you're dropping, and trying to get eyes on projects and see everything is almost getting a little tricky now. But I'm glad I caught this because this looks dope, man.
Appreciate it. That art cover was done by an artist over in Italy named Max Bertolini. He's done cover arts for Dark Horse and Heavy Metal Magazine and such. So I was really happy to get a hold of him.
Yeah, man, that cover looks badass. And the style looks very familiar too. So I almost guarantee that I've seen his stuff around. That's super dope. And you got some of the interiors here. These look awesome, man.
Yeah. My interior artist is Filipino. His name's Erwin Arosa. And I actually got him on the day I was about to take down my ads on Facebook in the comic creator groups. And he came in last second. No lie. He came in last second. I saw his art and I hired him on the spot. So
that's cool. So are you heavily involved in the Facebook comic book scene, or?
I use it only to grab like artists or letterers. I'm not really in there as much as I would want to be, just because trying to get into the YouTube streams of everybody and making friends there, it kind of like takes me from getting on the Facebook groups.
Yeah, it's like I'll float around in there too and try and spend time, but just like everything, man, it's a time sink, and you only got so much time in the day.
No doubt. But yeah, this book is going to be 32 pages long. All of the pages are fully colored and done. I'm working with my letterist right now to get the actual dialogue into the panels. So that's where we're at with creating the comic.
Very cool. Yeah, man, this looks like fire, dude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man,
yeah,
that's hype.
That's one of my favorite pages right there. I had to show it.
Yeah. That's super awesome, man. So it looks like the character is like a street level. It starts off as a street level, I assume, and then evolves into a more complex plot of like who's pulling strings. This is just an assumption, just based on what I'm seeing.
No, you're doing perfect. Keep going.
Okay.
But, Yeah, so he starts out doing the street level thing. This is actually the aftermath of a 7-page origin story that I had, which you can obtain when we hit the 3,000 mark of the tier, the unlockable tier of 3,000. That's after we complete our goal. And you don't really need to know the origin story to jump in here. It was just something I wanted to add on just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But so after the defeat of the Aranya cartel in Atlanta, all the other gangs hear about it and suddenly want to rise up to take that spot so they can do all the running for all the big wigs that are in Atlanta. And so the Thrashers are the first ones to try and grab a piece of that pie. And COLBALT actually comes across some of their members trying to have their way with a damsel in distress. And that's where this unfolds.
Okay. And that's where he gets introduced to the scene and slowly figures out what's going on with everything.
Oh, yeah. Because,
Very cool.
after you knock out a few characters, you, of course, as a vigilante, you steal their wallets because you're trying to make rent.
Yeah. This vigilante gig ain't paying too well, man.
That's right.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, let's pop back up to the top here. Let's get rid of this Canadian currency here so you can see it in proper dollars. There we go. There we go. Oh, man, you're almost there. You're just like 1,000 away. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. Everybody really made that first week really special. It was awesome.
This has been alive for 1 week so far. You're almost at your goal. $1,000 away. You got 52 days left. More than enough time to like blast past that. That's awesome.
Most definitely. I don't want to lose that steam that we've had.
No, and it's always tricky too because you have to keep that momentum going, especially at the beginning of the campaign. And there always seems to be that lull. Like week 3 seems to be kind of like very sluggish. So if you can find a way to either be on streams consistently, I find that helps out a lot. Just carry that momentum all the way through.
Yeah, I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to get on with let's see. Shay the Red and Cyborg Valkyrie. I'm trying to get on with as many as I can at this point.
Yeah, no, and it's tricky too, just because like real life, like you're at work right now, you're on your lunch break. Like I said, I'm super stoked that I was able to get you in, and I apologize for being late.
No, I'm glad that you had me. That's why I'm doing it, because I wanted to be here.
Yeah, but yeah, man, get on every stream, every channel that you can, because this project looks freaking dope, man. Like it's don't see a lot of people tackling like the classic street level stuff, so it's nice to see kind of like the Daredevil vibe going on here, and like Daredevil / Nightwing kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the respects that I went with. Of course, I grew up on all the street vigilantes, and they kind of took over mainstream. So, I mean, I don't really feel that we're tired of it. I feel like we just need a new face in there, and I think COLBALT fits the bill.
Nice. Well, let's take a quick look at the trailer here, and then we'll go from there after take a look at that.
Okay.
All right, let's pop this on, everybody. Right on. That was tight, man.
Seeing that never gets old.
Yeah. Oh man, isn't it great when you like make a nice, good, solid trailer of your stuff, and you're like, yeah, Yeah.
Oh yeah. All thanks is to the Red Gaze on that one. He created it.
Yeah, man. Red Gaze is everywhere making dope trailers, so can't go wrong with Red Gaze. Let's take a look what you got going on here. Oh, cool. A couple more of the interiors. Yeah, man. Your artist is freaking knocking it out. Now, do you have him unlocked for the next issue by chance?
I don't have it written in stone, but I mean, I asked him, at the end of this, if I needed him back for the second one, would he come? And he was like, hell yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's always a big plus when the artist is super amped on the project. So
he was great to work with. Very nice. He was timely. Everything came to me in a punctual manner. So I'm happy to have an artist that works like that.
Oh man, I've had the opportunity to work with a couple of guys from the Philippines, and man, through the charts. One guy that I worked with, Eddie, been in animation for years and years and years, and like he was able to do stuff in 2 days that would take a team on average 3 weeks to do. And I'm like, what the? He would just come into work and he'd be like, hey, I just did this over the weekend. I'm like, what the? Like, how? And he's like, yeah, I just did it. I'm like, when? Like, did you sleep? But he's like, yeah, this is just what you do. I'm like, no, not me, man. Like, I need to sleep and eat.
For people to be able to punch things out like that, man, I don't know. It's in their blood. I mean, they're born with that.
It's wild, man. Like I put myself in the, like, not so much a workhorse, maybe like a journeyman in what I do. But when I see guys like that, I see guys like that, and they just crank stuff out, and it's so good. I'm just like, wow. Let's take a look. So you got your perks here. You got you got the physical and the digital.
So for this campaign within the U.S., shipping is free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you go down a little farther, you'll see in big bold letters, it'll say within the U.S. shipping is free. It's already put within the tier. That way you don't get hit with that little bump at the bottom when you go to check out. So, yeah. That's why one book is $20. So I also added on a sticker and, of course, the PDF file to go with it. That way I'm trying to make you see that I want to give you as much bang for your buck as possible without screwing you.
Right on. You got the Blood Brother pack. Yeah, let's make this a little bit smoother. There we go. That's metal. What's that one about? Is that a metal print?
Yeah, so That's Metal is going to be the comic-sized cover metal print of Cobalt Thrashing About.
Very cool. Name's Como, $100. And you got a commission piece here, black and white character commission.
Yeah, that'll be done by my interior artist. So if you look to the left and look at the page, you'll see what kind of art you're going to be getting if you back that tier.
Man, that's a steal.
Yeah.
Now, for the black and white character commission, is that of Cobalt, or is that of your choosing?
That's of your choosing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, that's a steal of a deal, especially if somebody wants something of their own character, maybe.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, who wouldn't want to see their character this gritty?
Exactly, man. Man, I'm surprised that nobody's scooping that up. That should be like going like hotcakes. Yeah. It will, though. That's the thing, man. Like, once people start figuring out, like, oh man, that's $150. That's for this quality artwork. Hell yeah.
Yeah, $150, and if you're in the U.S., that's free shipping on top of that.
Yeah, man. Get a leg up. And full. Oh, okay. You get a full page ad in the book. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that'd be cool for other people in CG or just indie comics in general. If they wanted to get their book out there pretty quick, just take an ad in my book.
Yeah, that's another way of doing this cross promotion that is kind of like almost going back to the old school way of doing it, which that's That's pretty dope, man.
Definitely stole the idea from mainstream, but I
Yep.
mean, we're just mirroring what they do anyway, except on, Indiegogo.
Yep. And it does work. Like how many times have you wanted as a kid to buy something where you're like, oh, X-ray glasses?
I've done it many a time.
Yeah. You know what? That's one of the things that I missed about the old school comic books is just all those wild old shitty ads.
Oh yeah.
Like we don't have any of that stuff anymore. Like you don't have like these weird dudes out in New York trying to huck you like random crap that they bought off of back of a truck or something.
I don't know. Commie Mark's pretty close with his Daredevil. With his Not Daredevil campaign, you get those X-rays.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. I just want to say hi to Black Rose Comics out there. How's it going?
What's up, B-Rose?
Yeah, man. His channel's popping off too now.
It really is, yeah. If you were there the other night where we were all just gathered there in the chat and in the stream, it was nuts.
Yeah, I popped in. Yeah, I popped in super briefly. I was at work, unfortunately, so I couldn't hop in. Let's see. Yeah, right there in the big bold letters, free shipping in the U.S. Shipping has been included in the tiers. You won't get that extra charge at checkout. That's awesome. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, yeah. That's also Max Bertolini. So those that signed up for the mailing list early, that's going to be their trading card that they get when they back one of the tiers.
Nice.
And that's actually going to be a metal print.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is a killer package that you've put together. Now, when you where did COLBALT come from? Like, did you just create them on a whim, or was it just part of that deathmatch thing, or has this been something brewing in your head ever since you were a kid?
No, it's been brewing in my head for the past 5 years. So he was inspired by not only things that happened within my life personally, but of course with things that I grew up with and were inspired by. So of course the Bad Family and comics of street level vigilantes, but also I went through an accident where I lost 4 fingers on my left hand while I was working in a factory, and so I actually got a bionic hand of my own. That's why I go by Bionic Bruh. You can find that on Instagram and see all that.
Okay.
And, so COLBALT is basically the superhero that's within all of us. We all have that image of what we would want to look like if we became a hero. And then the story just collides both what I've been through, but putting it with a comic book twist on it. So, of course, before he became COLBALT, he was a drug runner for the cartel that actually took his hand. Because
he had to pay the price, obviously.
Yeah, well, he was trying to collect money for his mother's cancer surgery, but when he lost the merchandise, Esmeralda wanted compensation, so she took his fingers. And,
damn.
So he wanted vengeance. He met his mentor, Thomas Rogers, who basically led him down the path to where he could be a good fighter and start helping out others beyond himself. He's still trying to learn that beyond himself deal, but I think he's about to go down that path and figure out for himself what exactly it means to be more than just a vigilante.
Yeah. Very cool, man. That's wild. You got your stretch goals here. Embroidered patch. Nice. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Trading card unlocked. Unlockable. That's the 7-page reel. Oh, yeah, and that's right around the corner. That's coming up next. Oh, you go for the t-shirts. Nice. So those are the next 1-2 punch going on there with the 3,000 and 4,000 stretch goal. That's awesome. That's the metal print.
No, that's the 11x17 poster. So that'll be paid.
Okay.
And then the one below that will be the 11x17 metal print.
Okay. Dope. Very cool. Yeah, man, you put together a really, really awesome looking campaign here.
Appreciate it. I really want to give them something that they would want to back and would want to come back to when I make issues 2, 3, and 4. So this is part of a 4-issue miniseries, but it will continue after that. This is just the first story I want to present.
Yep. And that's always the thing with this kind of stuff too, is obviously you being a creator, you want to keep going at it, but always trying to like have it within a contained area, especially when it comes to the Indiegogo campaigns. The miniseries seems to be the way to go with stuff.
Yeah.
And the 4-issue arc seems to be the best way. With mine, Caius, the story of Blood and Stone, the story is it's really, really long, so I'm taking more of the manga approach to it. But
of course,
but with something like this definitely lends to that like miniseries vibe. Like I get like a very late 80s, early 90s feel from the pitch that you got going on here.
Yeah, so it's a mixture of cyberpunk and neo-noir, as you can tell from that shot right there.
Yep.
Mixed with, of course, hard-boiled detective crime solving and a bunch of action, of course, and just a lot of suspense. So this is definitely going to be something along the lines of, your mainstreams like Moon Knight, Daredevil, anything of the Bat family. This is definitely something that I wanted to present to everybody, and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished here.
Yeah, man, you got a lot to be proud of because, like I said, it looks great. It sounds like you have a very, very well thought out story that's going to be going at least 4 issues and then beyond.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. So Thrashing About is, of course, about the gang that he takes on in these first few issues. They're the Thrashers, and it also has to do with that inner turmoil that he's fighting himself with, trying to be the vigilante who's being selfish and going out and just dealing out pain to bad guys for his own comfort, or does he let that go, become something more, and also finally be the guardian that his little brother Isaac deserves too?
Okay.
It's time to let go of the selfishness and become something more. And can he do that is the question.
So a lot of family ties going on with the backstory.
Oh, most definitely. Even if you don't read the 7-page origin story, it's very much intertwined within this 4-issue miniseries. So you're going to be getting a lot of character development, character growth, a lot of pain and agony, but also a lot of hope and salvation.
Right on, man. So a couple quick questions about you.
Sure.
So is this your first stab into the comic book world, or do you have any ties into it whatsoever, or have you been writing for a long time? A little bit of back history on you.
Sure. I've always enjoyed writing ever since I was in grade school. It was my favorite pastime in English class. I wasn't so much into the mathematics and sciences. It was all about writing and history. And of course, that when I was a kid, I'd watch the cartoons. So the Batman animated series, Spider-Man animated, X-Men, all those
the classics.
Cartoons. Oh yeah, most definitely. And when I got older, they started making the Christian Bale, the Christopher Nolan films and everything. And I loved those. And then in college, I kept writing. It was the only thing that I really enjoyed in college. And I dropped out and then had my accident. And then one of my buddies came to me while we were at Dragon Con in 2018. And he was like, "Hey man, do you ever have like an idea for a superhero or whatnot?" I was like, "Actually, I do." And he was like, "Well, let me get you in touch with a buddy over in San Diego who actually does comics with his little independent studio." I didn't think anything of it, but lo and behold, I got to create my first 7-page issue miniseries of COLBALT.
Cool.
And yeah, man. After that, I caught the bug, and I'm going full throttle now. I can't stop. I have so many ideas for COLBALT and his cast of supporting characters. There's so much I want to deliver to you guys, and there's so much I want to do to entertain you.
Yeah, you touched on something there too that a lot of people don't realize when you get into this is when the bug hits you. Like the creative bug, that creative drive, once it starts stepping on the gas and starts going, it's very hard to take the foot off, and you just want to keep running with that thing.
Yeah, it's hard to condense it because you have so many ideas going off at one time. It's like you gotta you gotta, pump the brakes once in a while to actually get
Yeah.
those stories to make sense and not just look like a whole condensed meshed, I don't know, pot pie or something.
Yeah.
So
It's very easy to get caught into the almost improv stage of and then and then and then. Yeah.
But I'm totally happy. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic with what this has become, and to be back so quickly by everybody, I'm floored. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, man, it's super cool being part of all this that's going on. Like, as you probably have been, obviously, with CG and all this stuff. It's been interesting watching it all unfold in real time. I think I came on just at the fringe of when it was just popping off. So
Right.
around 2017, I think, maybe around there is when I started taking notice of it. Somebody at work mentioned it. But how did you come about finding out about CG?
So I was actually watching Unreal End Gaming about the Dragon Ball Super manga, trying to get a head start on what was about to come out, and the suggestion channels came up under one of the videos, and it was Ethan Van Sciver, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll listen to him. So I went and listened to him, and he started talking about Comicsgate and the cancellation of mainstream comics with DC and AT&T and Marvel, and just everything that was going on within. And of course, I started watching Mark Crilly's channel, started watching the Barton brothers, and then I took a nosedive down the rabbit hole and fell in love with the man. I love the attitude and everything. I started learning what people outside of CG were saying about CG, and I was sitting in the corner. I'm like, that's not accurate at all. You guys don't even know what you're talking about. There's no negativity whatsoever in the respects that they're trying to say you do.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty much the same thing that happened with me. Is like somebody shone a light on it, and they're like, oh, could you believe that this is happening? And and I was like, wait, what? And then the way that they presented it was like, it sounded so ridiculous that I was like, there's no way that can be a thing. Like that, like the way it was presented was so dumb, but they were trying to present it as an actual, like, yeah, this is how it is. I'm like, okay, I got to go check this out, because the way that they're saying it, there's no way it's that insidious. And then I go look at it, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is not at all what it is. Like, what the hell? And same thing, started like, finding out what it was, listen to your boy Zach, and then Ethan, and then it just went crazy. And like being there during the crest of everything, I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh my God, things are actually moving and shifting, and like people can actually do stuff now. Wow, this is awesome.
No, when I first had my very first stream with Dean of Comics Mate and Lee Byron Carver, and then of Albino Thunderbuns, they actually joked with me when I brought on this supporting characters like Thomas Rogers and Kasem Al-Mott, when I told them that they were, Middle Eastern or Filipina or, just something else. And they were like, wait, man. We're CG. Don't you know we're racist? Like, so it's an open joke within the community that it's the most ridiculous, asinine thing I've ever heard. And everybody's been supportive. They didn't kick me out for having these other characters within my story. Hell, there are other people within CG who are Latino, Filipina, Asian, and all this stuff. And it's just all this.
It goes against the narrative. Be quiet.
I don't handle bullshit well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been great. I loved it. I love every minute of it, hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, man. It's been like, aside from a couple people going at it, but it's just like, that's just internal bullshit every now and then that apparently has to like get brought up to the top, But
of course,
for the most part, man, it has been absolutely awesome. The amount of campaigns that have funded, the amount of artwork and people that have been given a chance. Like, people don't realize that this has the potential to change people's lives, and like, and it can happen overnight. Like, you have all these creative people out there, you, me, we got people in the chat that are also going down the same path. It can literally change the path of your career and what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. And the power that CG and crowdfunding has, I don't think it's something to sneeze at. Like, it's a lot more than what people give it credit for. And I think it's honestly the way it's going to be in the very near future on even how the big guys are going to handle stuff, because they're circling the drain right now and they don't know how to pull out.
Agreed. Most definitely. Yeah. DC, that's the one I worry about the most, because that's the one I grew up with the most. I'm a huge DC fan, but when the animated movies are doing better than the actual live action films, there's an issue. And I just see AT&T just dangling that string a little further down every time something happens like that.
Yeah, and they're like, well, let's go down further. Let's go down further.
Exactly. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Me and my buddies over here in CG will gladly pick up the slack.
Yeah, it's super interesting, because I'm always trying to take like this 10,000-foot view of of everything going on, and trying to compare like how it's changing, why it's shifting, why things are working in this direction, and why it's not working in this other direction. And a big chunk of it has to do with I think certain things could only get so big, and it if it's a cell structure and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, it's just going to collapse in on itself. It just loses its integrity. Well, funny enough as it is, it loses its actual integrity. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of the industry.
Yeah. And I mean, the same could be said about CG if it gets too big. I mean, it could just like bust through the ceiling and be this amazing thing, but at the same time, there'll be, separate parties and whatnot that'll just separate, make their own factions, and that'll grow, and it'll happen for different groups within CG.
And that's what I see happening right now. That's the thing that I see developing right now is you do have the cell structure splitting, but it's still part of the whole. And I think that's happening right now in CG.
Oh, most definitely. It's just a graph. It's just expanding on itself. It's not really I don't think it's ever going to implode. No. I think exploding is the only option that we have.
Yep. Yeah, it's more of a conglomerated thing as opposed to this big separate thing. Like it's like you're going to be doing your thing. I'm going to be doing my thing. We got people in the chat that are doing their own thing, but we're still touching and connected enough where we're still part of the same bigger organism.
Well, it's because we're all taking care of each other and helping each other out at the same time. I mean, we need each other for this thing to grow. It's all because of the networking and, crowdfunding. We are a community, and a community is only as good as its, weakest link. And I don't see any weaklings within CG. We are all alpha males.
We're all out there eating red meat.
There you go.
Yeah. No, it's like I've been paying attention to this stuff for a long time. Like the whole goal for me, like ever since I was a kid, was getting the comic books, always drawing, all this kind of stuff. Like when I was I think it was 12, 13, I was like, how am I going to get a job doing art? And then like, as I'm reading the comic book, thinking this, like, wait a minute, people drew this. That's a job option. And then I was watching animation, and I was like, wait a minute, people animate stuff. That's an option too. And then I watched like the world of Disney, and they show how much an animator has to work. I'm like, oh, I'm not animating. Screw that. I'm going to be a comic book artist.
Yeah, man, animation's ridiculously long.
Oh, it's tough, but so rewarding. That's the thing, is, seeing your characters come to life. Like even the animation that you had going on in there, who did that for you?
That was actually Warwick Wong. He's on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you actually got Warwick to do. Oh, it's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah. So he did all the stuff with like his cybernetic organisms and whatnot. Had them break apart and then realign in his animations. And I was like, I want that done for Cobalt's hand and his armor and everything. And I got in touch with him for I won't say a small price, but for a small price, he was able to do that for me.
No, that's super awesome because like when I saw that, I was like, oh, that looks very much like Warwick's animation. Like he did like the Darth Vader and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's super awesome. I didn't know that Warwick did that because like he's got super dope stuff.
I think I'm going to use that for every opening thing I have Red Gaze do for COLBALT from now on.
Yeah, man. If you can get even just like a little bit of animation going on for your stuff, I think it just adds that little extra oomph to what you're doing. And for this character, yeah, it definitely helps add right at the end of that trailer. So
I'm just trying to show people how serious I am about this. I'm not here to like be here for a one-hit wonder and then duck out. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to give out stories. I'm here to just kick some ass, and I think I've got the character to do it.
Yeah, man. Campaign looks great. Character looks awesome. The story that you got going on, obviously, like you said, it's going to delve into more deeper issues with the character itself, and also expand upon his world and how he's going to be able to affect it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Atlanta is a big city, if you don't know, and there's a lot of different areas to explore. Like right now, we're near where the Thrashers are, so that's like south of 85, where it's just a shit storm for Atlanta. And then of course you get into Midtown Atlanta, where all the upper parties leave, and then you go north of it, and you got that whole suburban area. I mean, it's going to reflect it, but it's going to do it so in a superhero based world, and I think we've unlocked something spectacular.
Nice. So I'm assuming you live in the Atlanta area and you're pulling from what you know there.
Well, I lived in Atlanta for 3 years. I live in Nashville now.
Oh, okay. So you got a good core base of what that place actually operates like.
Sorry, say that again?
You got a good core base of what Atlanta actually operates like.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. And, I wanted to give a little nod to everybody that lived in Hotlanta, or ATL, however you want to pronounce it. But, there's so many different locations there. I give a nod to it with the diner that they'll be eating at, and kind of, talking with Thomas about how things are going on. And of course, South 85, the Thrashers hangout area, that looks, how it should. And, it's been such a great experience creating this world, and it's not even halfway complete, man. These are just minor things that I was able to get to in the first issue, and there's a floodgate waiting to unload, and I'm just ready to, open it up.
That's awesome, man. First issue is 32 pages. Do you have any plans for like stretch goals down the road, or is that like the set 32?
The stretch goals are what you looked at the unlockables. There's the patch after we hit 3,000. The stretch goals start at the 1,000 mark. After we hit our goal, you're going to get the tail end patch. You're going to get at the 2,000 mark. You're going to get Erwin Arosa's trading card. You're going to get at the 3,000 mark the 7-page origin story. At the 4,000 mark, you get the COLBALT T-shirt, which the art for that will also be Erwin. So,
all right, yeah. But 32 pages and then the 7-page origin story. Then that's the full meal deal.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just I know every now and then some people will throw on like an extra 5 pages after a stretch goal and stuff like that. But just wanted to ask.
I mean, if people hit this hard enough and that it becomes an option, I'm most definitely going to do it. I mean, I want to give everybody everything that I would want from, backing such an awesome comic. And so, yeah, there'll definitely be other tiers down the road to unlock. It's just, we got to get there first. And I got to start thinking about them.
Yeah, man, the stretch goal tiers are always tricky too, because you don't want to like overpromise and, cut yourself off at the knees kind of a thing.
Sure.
Yeah, like I have the unfortunate thing of being up here in Canada, so I actually can't promise a hell of a whole lot when it comes to like stretch goals or add-ons, because Canada Post is very, very particular as to the size, width, and weight of the package. And if it goes anything over that by even like the slightest bit, it automatically doubles shipping. So, wow. Yeah, so I unfortunately have to deal with that and those parameters of shipping and handling and promises that I have to make. So.
Well, I think I handled it pretty well then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's super dope. Yeah, we're at 2,000, just 1,000 away from being at fixed goal of $3,000. 52 days left. I guarantee you're going to be able to hit that, man. Because like I said, this project looked absolutely killer. Now for you, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at the same handles as you see right here, Bionic Bruh, and then Tail End Studio.
Okay, so you got 2 ways to get a hold of you. That's awesome. Because it's one of the things that I personally keep forgetting about is people have to actually reach out to us, because sometimes things come up or people want to know stuff. And I think it's very important to have a way for people to just be able to hey, man, I got a couple questions. And Twitter's Twitter's always the easiest, best way for that, and just being accessible. I don't think I've ever blocked anybody. I've never had a reason to.
That's good.
Yeah.
But
and even if there was a reason, I think I'd still want to not block that person just to see what kind of shenanigans they're doing.
Well, you got the option to mute people, not exactly block them, but just keep them quiet on your page. But I mean, so I've actually taken this whole week. I'm not going to tag anybody to anything I post, because I actually saw one of Lucifer Storm's tweets saying, man, this person's been, tagging me to everything. I got to mute them. And that warning didn't do anything for that person, so he muted them. I was like, well, I'm going to wait off a week on tagging anybody and everybody, because I don't want that to happen to me.
Well, one of the good things with CG2 is there are so many people out there that are willing to do that on your behalf. So that way it's not just you hitting up everybody, we have no problem sharing out the tweets, sharing out the campaign, stuff like that. Tonpa's out there doing a killer job. Every time that he posts something, I'll retweet that, and that seems to be okay. Nobody gets mad at that, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, he's doing a great job. I love what Tompa does. He puts so many eyes on so many different projects at once. It's insane, and it was a great idea on his part.
One of the things that I'd like to do for down the stream at some point is bring on the unsung heroes of this stuff. Guys like Tompa, guys like Pixel Trader. Who else is there? I can't remember his name. He just started up the CG Go. There's a bunch of guys out there doing a lot of work that we're all grateful for, but they're not getting, a nice spotlight on them.
Right.
That would be something good for down the road too. Just be like, hey man, these guys need a tip of the hat,
Oh, totally agree with that, man. There, so many people are just doing small things just to be helping us out. Some voice, I forgot his name, but a guy came to me about wanting to do a voiceover, not really an animation, but a voiceover with sound and everything for one of the panels for COLBALT.
Oh,
and
cool.
He's working on that. He's working on that right now. He did it for the Natverse and their characters in one of the panels, and it was awesome. I was like, hell yeah, you can do that for COLBALT.
Yeah, man. And it's funny too, because once the ball starts going, whoa.
Hang on, my boss is calling. Hang on one second.
Okay. All right. Okay. I was gonna say one of the cool things with this stuff too is once you get the ball rolling, it's hard not to just want to keep doing cool stuff with your characters. I just want to say shout out to the chat out there. We got Phoenix Animation rolling in here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Sorry about not paying attention to the chat. Just kind of trying to get as much as I can in here with Bionic Bruh before he's got to get called back to work.
Yeah, I actually do got to get going back to work, sadly.
Yeah, I figured that's exactly the earmark we were at here, coming up on. Yep, pretty much, man. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming on. Apologize again for being late. Unfortunately, one of those things beyond my control.
Things happen. It's okay.
And you are more than welcome to come on anytime. I want to try and do kind of more of a relaxed gathering stream down the road where a bunch more people just come in, hang out, shoot the shit, and float around ideas and have a good time. So you're more than welcome to join on that once that starts rolling out. And everybody, be sure to go to the Indiegogo page, which I have linked in the description below, and back this project. It is so close to being funded that you can smell it. You have anything else you want to pop in here before you got to go back to work? Hello? Oh, did we lose Bionic Bra? Is it just me? Hello? Am I in the void? Let's see. I talked to Tonto about coming on the channel. This is Phoenix. Like he said, his English isn't good enough. He doesn't.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, are you back?
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Sorry, I keep on disconnecting like that.
Oh, it's all good, man. I'm just asking if there's anything else that you want to pop out to the chat or anything you want to say before you head out here. Yeah,
definitely. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you having me on your stream, man. It was great first time for me. Back this comic as soon as you can. I don't want anybody to miss out on it. I know that we're only like 50 and some change days out before we actually have to close, but I don't want anybody to miss out on this opportunity. And I think when you actually finally get this book in your hand, you're going to be wanting so much more from this universe. So thanks for everything.
Oh, no problem. And like I said, thank you for coming on, taking time out of your lunch day, middle of work. But yeah, everybody go back COLBALT, and you know where to find him on the internet. You know where to find me on the internet. I will be back tomorrow doing this same thing. I won't be running late, and I'll definitely be checking my mic to make sure that it's working properly. I am going to actually be having on comic book printer Rich Boy from Comic Impressions. He is a really, really awesome dude. So anybody who's out there that wants to do any kind of comic book printing, he works for Comic Impressions. They've been doing this for 25 years. And I'm going to ask him as many questions as I can about the whole printing process, how they help out the comic book community, and also all the fulfillment stuff that they do. Definitely tune in tomorrow because it is going to be an awesome, awesome, very informative little piece of streaming that I'm going to be doing. And hopefully it's one of those last things that like people don't pay a lot of attention to until it comes time to print. And like, oh crap, I need a printer. Who am I going to go to? And yeah, we'll definitely see what Rich has to say about Comic Impressions. So definitely pop in on over for that.
Yeah, I'll be there for it, most definitely.
Hell yeah. But that's it. In the meantime, in between time, I just want to thank the chat for popping by. Thank you guys for holding it down while I was scrambling here in the background. You guys are awesome. I Borrow Ideas, Phoenix Animation, Darren Wagner. We got B Rose in there. Thank you guys for popping by. That's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And until then, peace out.